So anyways, okay, so this line here is 77.7 miles long from the I-80 crossing to Highway 77. So remember we had Lincoln Beach, Lincoln, California, Lincoln, Oregon, or Lincoln City, Lincoln Beach, Lincoln County, and the first road was Lincoln Avenue. And now we're going to look at Lincoln, Nebraska. And we have 77.7 miles from the intersection of the center line of the Eclipse with Interstate 80 to Highway 77. And then Highway 77 is this red line from where it crosses in right down here at where the little circle is going up to that same spot is 177,777 feet. Let's see what I wrote here. It's 12:12 a.m. Well, it's 12:44 a.m. right now on April 12th, 2015 as I write this sentence. Traveling north from the eclipse of 2017 along Highway 77 to where highway intersects Interstate 80 is 177,777 feet long. It's 77.7 miles from the eclipse on I-80 to this intersection of Highway 77 in Lincoln, Nebraska, which corresponds to Lincoln Beach, Lincoln County, Oregon. What's up with all the Lincolns? Alright, why am I saying 33.7 miles plus 77.7 miles equals 111.4? Okay. Alright, here we go. I have some friends that have been seeing this 111 and often a 114, and they know who they are, so there's your number. Okay, I think the 177,777 feet, yes. Let's see what we got here. Okay, there's your feet, 177,777 feet equals 33.7 miles. So when I was writing the description, at 33.7 miles plus 77.7 miles equals 111.4 miles. And I've been running to that 111 quite a bit, and I have some friends that ended up, there was a 4 in there as well. I'm not going to go there, it's a long story. Alright, and so I measured the feet on I-80 and Highway 77, and I add this all up, and I get this big long number, and I divide it by 5,280 feet, which is a mile, and I get 111.41.723.4, so a total of 111 miles. Is the 111 code and the 4 blood moons and the 1723 for the Freemasons in their constitution. Okay. Alright, so we have 111, and we had that 4, and then we have 1723. Now that there is a whole nother story. You'll have to watch my other videos to get the 1723 number. That's very interesting though. 1723 is when I believe if I got this right, if I can remember, I'm trying to do something that's several years old, or a couple years old here from memory. I think that's the year that the Freemasons made their constitution. And that's the year the Helix Nebula lines up with the eye on the ground in Mexico. And the eye on the ground has some alignments with 9/11, and you'll have to watch the other videos to get that. I'm not even going to get into that right now. That is heavy stuff. Okay. So, we have Lincoln Beach, Lincoln, California, all those, I'm not Lincoln, California, Lincoln Beach, Lincoln, Oregon, Lincoln City, Oregon, Lincoln Beach, Lincoln County, and Lincoln Avenue. Hopefully you're not asleep like I am. And we have these incredible 77.7 miles there and 177,777 feet to this end point. And we exit here. Now notice we have 2 eclipses that kind of seem to come into this area. And they are 7 years apart, I believe. No. This one is 2052. Okay, this is the 2052 eclipse. This is the one. Oops. Okay, this is the one from 2024. Now I plotted these off of, you can get these off online. I didn't make these lines. I didn't come up with these locations. Just so you know, I didn't draw these lines. I imported that data. Other experts did that who were trying to actually figure out where everything's going to be at, and they give you the times and all that. Okay, so this one happens in 2017. This one happens in 2024. They cross right here. This is the greatest point of the 2017 eclipse. These two cross right over the Mississippi River. And I'll get into that. But let's go along with the Lincolns first. Okay, remember we have Jupiter being born at 3 in the morning and 56 seconds here, and then 57 seconds there, and all this different stuff. We had a Charleston shooting on the first day of Ramadan in 2015, and that cooks into these lines that go over to Istanbul, Turkey. The last highway this eclipse will cross is Highway 17 in 2017. There's 17 Lincolns. It's Lincoln counties named after 17 counties in the United States are named after Abraham Lincoln. I think 5 of them are named after Benjamin Lincoln. He was a general in the Revolutionary War, and Abraham Lincoln was obviously the president during the Civil War. Now, Charleston, South Carolina is a place down here called Fort Sumter, and Fort Sumter, oops, barely see it. Fort Sumter is where the Civil War started. These were the first shots of the Civil War. So we have Abraham Lincoln, who was the president during the Civil War, and we have where the Civil War began, with an eclipse. Its exit point lines up with the alignment with Charleston's, with Istanbul, Turkey, and Egypt, and this whole alignment thing. And this eclipse basically divides the country in half. This line right here going through here basically divides the country in half. And if you include Alaska up here, its territories, this eclipse here doesn't touch, well, the umbra shadow doesn't touch any other countries. It ends here in the Pacific Ocean and Atlantic Ocean. It begins here, ends there in the Atlantic Ocean. Sorry, I got all these extra lines here. That's for the other measurements. You don't need to see that though. And it begins in the Pacific Ocean. When it starts here in the Pacific Ocean, it's going a little over 400,000 knots. Okay, because it's going around a curved surface, and it quickly slows down. When it gets to here on the Missouri River, in this little red zone here, okay, you can see the Missouri River going through here. In this zone right here, in this red zone, it's going 1,335 knots. If you recognize that number from prophecy, that's an interesting number. It happens on where it's crossing the Missouri River. When it's crossing the Mississippi River, it's going 1,290 knots. The slowest speed it goes, and this is why it's a long line, this is the slowest speed it goes. It doesn't go any slower. It's going 1,260 knots. So there are your three numbers: 1,260, 1,290, 1,335. The 1,290 is on the Mississippi River. The 1,335 is on the Missouri River. If you were to try to divide the United States in half, geographically, you have, population-wise maybe even, because the East Coast is very well populated, you have the Mississippi River. You ever hear of east and west of the Mississippi? Okay. So 1,260 knots is the slowest speed over here. It's going by a town near that area, or where is it? My computer is so slow, I'm not sure exactly where it is. But it's in the area. There's a town in here somewhere called Crossville. There it is. Jesus was hung on a cross. My neck's getting sore. Okay. Also, Perry Stone, I'm going to try to get this information to you. When it's crossing over your church, I'd have to dig it up here, but you can get this out. When it's going over your church, I'm going to give this information to Perry Stone. I don't know if he'll ever get it or ever look at it, but I'll try. It's going over your church at 1,260 knots, so it's going the slowest speed it can go when it's going over your church. When it gets back up to 1,290 knots here, there is a town nearby. Is it up there? Where is it? Called St. Matthews. Over here, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John. I don't know if that means anything in particular, but we'll see if the town ever shows up. My slow computer. You people familiar with the area would know. I know it's in there. Where is St. Matthew? Come on, show up. Maybe it's in really close. There it is, St. Matthews, right there. St. Matthews. Bam, right there. Okay, so there's St. Matthews when it's going 1,290 knots again because it's speeding back up. And it's out here in the ocean somewhere when it gets out to 1,335. So who cares, right? Now, the distance between the Mississippi River and Fort Sumter is 666 miles. 666. I don't have that line up. I'm going to save you time. I'm not get it. But you can measure it. You can check it out. But maybe I need to show you. I don't know. I'm tired. It's almost 1 o'clock in the morning. By the way, today is I'm too tired. Yom Kippur. It's a Day of Atonement. Alright, so I didn't know that until just a little bit. I was like, oh, I need to figure that out. Oh yeah, it's Yom Kippur, I should know this. Duh. That's pretty bad. So we got 666 miles from Fort Sumter to the Mississippi River where it crosses the 2017 eclipse. And I think that's about all I'm going to talk about now, other than, okay, we had the shooting in Charleston, South Carolina on the first day of Ramadan. Ramadan is a Muslim holiday, and it happened in Charleston, South Carolina, which seems to connect us to the other side of the world with this red line over going through these Muslim countries. You can think of that how you want. We have a Civil War thing sort of developing with Abraham Lincoln and Charleston, South Carolina, or Fort Sumter on the East Coast there during this eclipse. That church that was the shooting happened at also had something to do with Black Lives Matter in 2010, and in 2015 a guy came in and shot a bunch of black people because he wanted to start a race war. Freak. So, and then you got George Soros is funding Black Lives Matters and all that kind of stuff. So basically, it seems like what we got going is the New World Order is trying to push us into a civil unrest, maybe a racial division of some sort. On the last day of Ramadan, there was another shooting, I think in Chattanooga, Tennessee, which is nearby the Eclipse area, somewhere up in here. I think that's where it was. I think it's Chattanooga, Tennessee, but I think it's right in this area right here. Sorry, I'm from Nevada. Okay, over in this area, right near the eclipse, there was another shooting on the last day of Ramadan in 2015, and that was shooting military recruiters. So I'm probably pushing it here, but and I just had some friends. Another coincidence happened with there was another shooting in another ville somewhere just recently at a school. But anyways, my thing is, what I'm trying to get at is I think this has a division of the United States going on. And that would be in August, somehow represented August 21st, 2017. That's what I think is happening. Could be wrong, but I wouldn't be surprised. We see plenty of rioting already starting. Okay, and we might end up with martial law if it gets out of control. And then we have people who want to shoot the military. So, and also, there's some other things I could talk forever. I think it's time to quit. But if you look at all the September 23rd things on YouTube, you'll find it in September 23rd in 2015, September 23rd, 2016, where all these weird things are supposed to happen, and nothing happens. It's like the devil's crying wolf, before we get to the real September 23rd, 2017. So we got 15, 16, and 17. And I guess I was going to show you, but I'm not going to show you. I was going to show you how there's Jupiter and king planet Regulus were right next to each other in 2015. I should tell you that when the eclipse happens in 2017, you will be able to see Regulus right next to the moon where the sun is. So the sun's going to get covered up by the moon, and Regulus is going to be right there. Regulus is the king star in the constellation of Leo. And in 2015, we had a nice conjunction of the moon, I believe, the moon, Regulus, and Jupiter. And I remember looking at that thinking, oh boy, 2 more years. Oh, it's been almost, so, that's what I was thinking back then. So, and then we're going to have it coming up in 2017. So, okay, I guess I'm done. I'm not going to show you that. It's getting too late. I got to quit. So I'm just going to turn this off. Forget it. I'm not going to go into there. Maybe I can do that in another video another day. And maybe I can get into more of the blood moons. I got lots of blood moon things to talk about. And just for fun, we'll crash the computer. Oh, I can't crash the computer because I got to get this to work. I was going to turn all my lines on for you. I would definitely crash the computer if I do that. These are categories after categories after categories here. And, these things break down into even more things, whatever they are, So, you can just imagine what's here. I mean, what's this? Missile image, I don't even know what it is. Washington, D.C. I got a whole bunch of lines on Washington, D.C. Look at the owls and the pyramids and what else? I got so much stuff on here, it's just crazy. If I turn it on, the whole thing turns into a big ball of yarn. Well, let's look at this one. Let's have fun. I don't even know what it is. 666 miles from Moscow to Jupiter alignment with Istanbul, Turkey. Okay, let's go look at that. I don't even know. Oh, I turned a bunch of stuff on. Oh, ouch. Or is it already on? Well, let's just go there. Show us what's 600. Oh, that's 666 miles, guys. Isn't that interesting? I totally forgot. I mean, there's just all this kind of stuff all over the place. So there's Moscow, right here. And there's the alignment, 666 miles. Okay, that's kind of cool. I don't know how exact that is, but it depends on what second you're looking at and what part of Moscow you're measuring from. But I guess you can get a 666 out of it. Maybe I should just randomly pick something. These are no, that's a lot of shadows. Pyramid with the all-seeing eye. What's this one? Let's turn it on. Oh, this is kind of fun. You want to get into 9/11. Alright, so this is, if you look at, we're down here, oh boy, we've got all this exaggerated, really high. Alright, we got the Freedom Tower, we got, okay, this is where, well, let's just have fun. I'm going to do one for fun. Let's just make it down to 1, get it down to the right height. pyramid with all-seeing eye. All right. So if you look at here, what was I doing here? Okay, we got the Freedom Tower here. This is where it was in Revelation 9:11 that there's an angel that comes out of the bottomless pit, and he has two names. If you look at these memorials from the side, they look like they're bottomless pits because you can't see the bottom of the pit. The Biden and Apollyon and Abaddon, whatever. I have a picture of that, but this is where Building 7 was. A lot of people don't know this building got collapsed, as well as the Twin Towers, which were here. And then they built a new Building 7. When Building 7 collapsed, I think it was supposed to be hit by Flight 93. And I got a whole bunch of info on that. But that thing went down at free fall speed, accelerated at free fall speed, meaning if you had dropped a bowling ball to the side, it would have gone down at the same speed as the building did, through thin air. But the building's not going through thin air, the building's going through steel and everything. So that doesn't make any sense. The penthouse suite on top of Building 7 collapsed a couple seconds before the building started collapsing. So if there's damage to the bottom of the building, why is the penthouse suite collapsing first? Come on, guys, it's retarded. You got screwed. So anyways, the New World Order puts a nice little triangle here in the road pattern with a little eyeball in the middle of it, just to hide it in plain sight. Put the little signature on it. That's my opinion. I don't know. I just happened to see that. I thought that was kind of interesting. You ever see that on your pyramids of the dollar bill? So that's what that was. So I got stuff like that all over the place here. Tons of it. Tons of it. It can be anything. Yeah, I'm gonna quit. Okay, gotta quit. All right, good night. Thank you very much for watching. Oh, isn't that interesting? The elevation's 11 feet, 12 feet, 11 feet. 9/11. Okay. All right. So good night, and thank you for watching. And hope you guys learned something there about the King of the North, King of the South. Go back and watch those videos by Bruce Gore if you haven't. And I hope you enjoyed it. All right, have a great night. Bye-bye.